You might feel like you showed up to the success game 10 or 20 years behind everyone else, but here's the truth. The core steps from Think and Grow Rich still work even if you are late. You just have to apply them with urgency and focus. I see the look in your eyes. You carry the burden of wasted years. You are held back not by lack of ability, but by the nagging suspicion that opportunity is a privilege of the young. You have seen others succeed, and the question that paralyzes you is not how they did it, but when they started. You analyze your life not by your current potential, but by the accumulation of past delays, creating a mental debt that must be settled. This self-inflicted burden of time lost is the heaviest anchor you drag. Let me correct this fatal error in your thinking. This philosophy, organized from the experiences of more than 500 successful men who often began in poverty, is the shortest dependable road to individual achievement ever presented. If you are ready for the secret, you already possess one half of it. The time you perceive as lost provides the maturity and desperate desire necessary to apply these principles with the intensity needed for rapid success. Your regret is now your greatest asset. The wisdom gained through failure and delay gives you an invaluable perspective that younger men lack the understanding of what not to do and the fierce urgency to act decisively. You have the empirical evidence of years of procrastination, making your commitment to disciplined action far more potent than the untested enthusiasm of youth. This maturity means you understand the high cost of indecision, a lesson the young have not yet internalized. This intense desire is the spiritual gasoline needed for acceleration. I tell you this truth with the conviction of a law. You are not too late, but you do not have time to waste. Every hour from this moment forward must be leveraged to repay the debt of past inaction. The clock of destiny runs not on chronological time, but on the disciplined intensity of your purpose. We must use this maturity to achieve compressed time. We start now by establishing the aggressive purpose necessary to compress years of growth into a short time frame. This compression of time is not a miracle, but a highly disciplined application of universal law. It requires that every action be calculated, every thought be controlled, and every effort be directed toward a single definite purpose. This philosophy provides the blueprint to consciously accelerate the natural process of success, forcing fate to yield its bounty sooner. The first step, converting regret into command, desire, and faith. Being a late starter means you understand the cost of wasted effort. You have paid the tuition of procrastination and indecision. You must immediately convert that pain and regret into the single starting point of all achievement, a burning desire. Riches do not respond to wishes. They respond only to definite demands. A wish is a passive state. A demand is an active, compelling force. The man who fails often harbors vague goals. He says, I wish I had more money, or I hope I find a better opportunity. These wishes are merely shadows. The mind requires a definite chief aim and a burning obsession to compel the subconscious into action. A wish is passive, a burning desire is active, compulsive, and magnetic. It must be a positive force, powerful enough to overcome the inertia of your past. The intensity of this desire must be so great that the thought of achieving your aim becomes the dominating thought in your conscious mind, setting the entire mental machine in motion. This desire must be so fierce that the thought of failure is physically painful, compelling continuous action and refusing to entertain the possibility of retreat. This dominating thought must consume your mind entirely. This is your immediate assignment, to convert the sharp pang of regret over lost time into the necessary spiritual intensity required for success. But how do you take an emotion and turn it into a physical reality? It requires a specific set of ordered actions. The emotion itself must be channeled into the precise mechanics of the law, giving your desire a tangible form and a definite command structure. Consider the example of Edwin C. Barnes. He was a man who, lacking money and influence, possessed a burning desire to become Edison's business associate. He traveled on a freight train to reach Edison's laboratory. He did not arrive with credentials. He arrived with an obsession. He took a menial position, not as a job, but as an opportunity to place himself in the right environment. He refused to accept any job other than the one that would lead directly to the partnership. This proved that thoughts mixed with definiteness of purpose and persistence are powerful things. Barnes achieved in a short time what most men never achieve in a lifetime, simply by the force of his definite desire. His story serves as a perfect template for the late starter. Utilize the resources you have, any means of transport, accept the necessary temporary position, but never compromise the definite purpose. He refused to allow temporary circumstances to dictate his ultimate destination, demonstrating the absolute magnetic power of a definite chief aimed to attract its physical counterpart. To catch up, your mind must become so thoroughly saturated with the desire for money and purpose that you become money conscious. This mental state is essential for attracting what you desire. It is a psychological magnetism that draws the necessary people and circumstances to you. The 6 steps I will give you are the necessary actions to communicate this desire directly to your subconscious mind in a spirit of absolute faith. If you have spent your adult life trading time for faint hopes, you must now follow these 6 specific commands, the 6 steps for transmuting desire, with the same intensity Barnes used when he stood before Edison. 1. Fix the exact result and reciprocity. Determine precisely the exact amount of money or definite goal you intend to acquire. Vague desire yields vague results. Then, determine the exact service or commodity you intend to give in return. The law of equivalent exchange is absolute. You must commit to a contribution that matches your demand. This commitment to equivalent service is what separates the dreamer from the deliberate accumulator, recognizing that all enduring wealth must be earned through useful contribution to others. Specify the benefit you will deliver that justifies the reward you demand, accepting the universal principle that there is no such reality as something for nothing. 2. Establish a hard deadline. Establish a definite date for possession. The time you lost was due to indefinite goals. If you do not set a date, your subconscious mind sees no urgency. The act of setting a definite date forces your mind to immediately organize a plan. The clock starts now. This deadline must be treated not as a flexible aspiration, but as a binding contract with yourself, compelling immediate mental and physical effort. It destroys the habit of delay by enforcing time-bound necessity and activating the law of rhythm. Every day must be measured against this non-negotiable temporal command. 3. Create a plan and begin at once, ready or not. Create a definite practical plan for carrying out your desire, and begin at once, whether you feel ready or not. The man who waits for perfection never starts. Action defines your plan through immediate practical application and cures the fear of starting. Waiting for the perfect moment is the primary deception that has sabotaged your past. The plan may be imperfect, but the act of beginning is the first step toward self-mastery and the activation of the cosmic habit force. The most perfect plan is useless until it is put into definite, continuous motion, and continuous motion refines the plan itself. 4. Write the command. Write out a clear, concise statement covering all 4 points: the amount, the reciprocal service, the date, and the plan. This simple act provides concrete form to the intangible desire. A goal not written is merely a wish that has been conveniently forgotten. Writing the command uses the law of autosuggestion consciously, giving your mind a tangible blueprint to follow. This written document becomes the master key to your subconscious programming and must be carried with you, reviewed constantly, transforming an abstract thought into a concrete instruction. 5. The twice daily ritual of faith. Read your statement aloud, twice daily, once before retiring and once upon arising. These are the moments when the subconscious mind is most receptive to command. This is a ritual of faith, embedding your definite purpose deep within your working mind. Consistent repetition is the psychological motor that drives the spiritual energy of your desire, forcing the subconscious to translate the thought into its physical equivalent by dictating your actions throughout the day. This ritual makes faith a practical scientific tool, not a mere hope. 6. Emotionalize the possession. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession. You must mix emotion or feeling, faith, with your words, as plain, unemotional words are of no consequence to the subconscious mind. Faith is the strongest and most productive of the emotions, and only emotionalized thoughts have an influence on the subconscious mind, making compressed time possible. The emotional charge converts the written words from mere ink on paper into powerful magnetic thought impulses, commanding the universe to deliver your desire, because the subconscious cannot distinguish between actual possession and possession emotionally felt. This focused desire is the accelerated start. It is not a promise of instant fortune. It is a guarantee of instant direction. The only thing you can afford to waste is another minute delaying this six-step action. But what if you still feel the drag of your past doubts? The only remedy is the systematic command of your internal life, enforcing a new mental dictatorship. The second step, mastering the mindset of delay, autosuggestion, and fear. You are behind because you indifferently allowed yourself to become failure conscious. To catch up, you must destroy the three enemies that cause mental delay: indecision, doubt, and fear. We use autosuggestion to force success consciousness into the mind. Autosuggestion is the agency through which the subconscious may be commanded, allowing you to choose the thought impulse that will dominate your mind and determine your ultimate outcome. The belief that it is too late is a ghost, a creation of the uncontrolled imagination. It is a thought impulse planted by years of negative inputs. Your age gives you the self-control necessary to destroy this ghost and choose success consciousness over the fear of old age. You now possess the mental stamina to enforce self-discipline, a quality often lacking in youth. This self-control is the leverage you need to reprogram decades of mental drift, imposing order where there was chaos and demanding a new psychological environment. Your mind has been programmed, perhaps for decades, by the autosuggestion of failure and limitation. Every time you accepted a low wage, every time you focused on debt, you were issuing a direct command to your subconscious mind. This programming must be reversed through the systematic, deliberate counter-command of autosuggestion, applied with unwavering persistence until the positive impulse dominates and the old pattern is erased forever. My research showed that the major reason men seldom succeed before 40 to 50 is their tendency to dissipate their energies through overindulgence in food, in trivial conversation, in fear, and in the misdirection of the life force. They make the discovery later in life that self-control is the master key, leading to noteworthy achievement precisely when others begin to slow down. This discovery is your mature advantage. You have the knowledge of what self-sabotage looks like. Now you must apply the wisdom to eliminate it, focusing all dissipated energy back toward your definite aim, utilizing this energy as the force behind your purpose. The mind is a broadcasting and receiving station, and it becomes magnetized by the dominating thought impulses you hold. Since poverty consciousness will voluntarily seize the mind that is not occupied with money consciousness, you must voluntarily and persistently inject positive thought impulses through autosuggestion. This positive injection must be aggressive and continuous, allowing no vacuum for negative thoughts to enter, maintaining a psychological garrison against all internal and external negativity. Consider the power of Blair Hill's desire backed by faith. He was born with a physical affliction, yet his mother's concentrated belief in his ability, coupled with his own desire, overcame the physical handicap. This demonstrates that the mind translates impulses into reality, whether constructive or destructive. Your desire for success must be given that same aggressive, concentrated force. If concentrated thought can overcome physical barriers, it can certainly overcome financial ones, proving the mind is the only true source of limitation or power in your life. You must use your maturity to wield the law of autosuggestion with precision and discipline. 1. Apply the self-confidence formula daily. Commit to memory and repeat aloud once a day the self-confidence formula. This formula is a written demand that mandates persistent, aggressive, and continuous action toward your definite purpose. It requires you to recognize your latent power and demand that it be used for achievement. And it helps you eliminate the negative qualities that sabotage success, such as hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism. This formula is your mental shield against self-doubt and the toxic opinions of others, inoculating your mind against failure consciousness by replacing doubt with certainty. 2. Concentrate and visualize. Concentrate your thoughts for 30 minutes daily on the task of thinking of the person you intend to become, creating a clear mental picture of that person. As you visualize, see yourself rendering the service you intend to give in return for the money. This is self-control applied directly to the imagination. This is not daydreaming. It is the purposeful use of the creative imagination to attract and direct necessary forces, compelling the subconscious to build a blueprint of the future you command, giving concrete form to your definite aim. 3. Build a wall of immunity. Use your willpower constantly to build a wall of immunity to guard against negative influences, whether internal, doubt, external, toxic acquaintances. Control your input. Every human being has the ability to completely control his own mind, closing the doors tightly to admit only thought impulses of his own choice. The mature man chooses his inputs deliberately. This deliberate choice of mental environment is non-negotiable for the late starter who cannot afford wasted mental energy or external sabotage from fear-ridden minds. You must become the absolute censor of your own mental broadcast station. 4. Combat the fear of old age with fact. Actively combat the ghost of too late by recognizing that man's most useful years, mentally and spiritually, are those between 40 and 60. This truth must become the dominating emotional impulse in your mind, overriding any past programming of limitation and transforming age into a decisive advantage. Your physical life may have limits, but your mental capacity for organized thought is peaking now, granting you the seasoned judgment necessary for great wealth and the execution of complex plans with minimal error. I hope that the fire of this philosophy has already begun to burn away the doubt of your past. I have given you the foundation, desire, faith, autosuggestion to put the past behind you. But the greatest time loss is always indecision. How do we stop it? By mastering the law of definite decision and organized planning, converting mental paralysis into immediate momentum. The third step, eliminating the fatal flaw, decision and organized planning. To make up for lost time, you must immediately eliminate the major cause of failure, lack of decision. Decision is the mastery of procrastination. Speed of decision is the only way to accelerate your results, backed by organized planning. Lack of decision is the universal flaw. I have established that lack of decision is near the head of the list of major causes of failure. Conversely, those who succeed reach decisions promptly and change them slowly, if at all. The speed of decision demonstrates the intensity of the burning desire behind it and the efficiency of the mind's organizing faculty. Your years of experience are your advantage here. You have seen what happens when men wait too long, when they allow the perfect to become the enemy of the good, and when they permit the negative opinions of family and friends to delay their necessary moves. The man who is accelerating his success does not wait for absolute certainty. He creates certainty through definite decision and continuous action. Certainty is a state of mind, not a fact of external reality, and it is manufactured by the act of commanding decision, forcing the universe to respond to your will and organize around your fixed aim. The most monumental change in history began as a definite decision in the minds of a few men. Consider the decision of John Hancock and Samuel Adams to hold a Continental Congress, which required faith and courage because the decision was dangerous. Leaders always make ready decisions, while followers never make quick decisions. The decision itself was the catalyst that changed the course of a nation. Your personal revolution begins with the same definitive action. The decision to commit is the first step of the plan, and the foundation upon which all subsequent action is built, transforming intention into irresistible force. You must stop asking, "How can I do this?" and start commanding, "I will do this." The decision itself is the speed multiplier. Decision must be followed immediately by organized planning. which is the crystallization of desire into action. To break the habit of delay and install the discipline of speed, you must follow these commands. 1. Reach decisions promptly and commit. Make it a sacred habit to reach decisions promptly and change them slowly, if at all. The weakness of changing your mind frequently is the sign of a lack of definite purpose. Train your mind to commit. Once a decision is made, let your willpower enforce it until it is proven completely impractical. The constant shifting of purpose guarantees failure, while commitment builds the persistence required for success, making your purpose fixed and your plans flexible. 2. Reduce your definite plan to writing immediately. Reduce your plan to writing immediately. Your achievement can be no greater than your plans are sound. A decision without a written plan is mere fancy. The written plan is the master architect's drawing that your subconscious mind follows. It must be clear, concise, and capable of being executed immediately, serving as the constant point of reference against which all action is measured, providing definite steps for every day. 3. Keep your own counsel strategically. Do not talk too freely about your plans, as you may be beaten to your goal by someone putting your plans into action ahead of you. Keep your own counsel regarding your plans, except with your trusted mastermind group. The world is full of skeptics who will plant seeds of doubt. Your silence is your protection, and your certainty is your strength against those who wish you to remain where you are. 4. Rebuild plans, not desires, after defeat. If a plan fails, accept it as temporary defeat, not permanent failure, and immediately rebuild those plans and set sail once more toward your goal. The desire remains fixed. The plan is mutable. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. The temporary setback is merely an instruction, not a verdict, requiring a change of plans, never a change of definite aim. This resilience is the signature of the mature starter who understands the fluid nature of execution. 5. Act on inspiration immediately. When plans appear in your mind as an inspiration or a flash, the sixth sense, put them into action immediately. These are valuable communications from your subconscious mind, and failure to act on them will cause them to be withdrawn. Do not hesitate when genius speaks. These flashes are the reward for organizing your thoughts, and should be treated as absolute commands that bypass the slow analytical mind, granting you massive speed and superior timing. The 4th step, leveraging experience and effort, persistence, and specialized knowledge. You are not losing time, you are paying tuition. Your experience is your asset, but you must now couple it with unbreakable persistence and strategically acquired specialized knowledge to accelerate progress. The history of every successful man is a history of temporary defeat. The greatest reverse is not failure, but the lack of persistence to rebuild plans. Your age gives you the wisdom to recognize that every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. The difference between the wealthy man and the working man is not a lack of failure, but a lack of persistence in the face of it. The average person quits when overtaken by temporary defeat. The universal habit of quitting when overtaken by temporary defeat is tragically illustrated by the man who quit digging just 3 feet from gold. He lost his fortune not because the gold was not there, but because his persistence failed him on the very edge of success. He failed to read the instruction that the goal was close, succumbing to the temporary feeling of futility, proving that persistence alone often separates success from total failure. Your age gives you the wisdom to endure. The youthful mind often sees temporary defeat as final. The mature mind understands that difficulty is merely a test of your definite purpose. You have a deeper well of life experience to draw on when the inevitable temporary defeat arrives, knowing that no loss is permanent except for a lack of persistence. Contrast the quitting habit with late starters like W. C. Fields and Marie Dressler, who staged astounding triumphs around age 60 by using persistence and courage. Their greatest wealth and fame came after they had paid their tuition in the school of hard knocks. They demonstrated that persistence, combined with focused application, forces the world to yield even late in the game, proving that the force of will is timeless and can overcome physical age. To accelerate your success, You must focus only on the specialized knowledge required for your definite chief aim. General knowledge is of little use in the accumulation of money. The person who stops studying merely because he has finished school is forever hopelessly doomed to mediocrity. You must become a continuous student of your definite field, acquiring knowledge with strategic, military precision. Your knowledge acquisition must be purposeful and directly tied to your definite aim, ignoring all information that does not serve your one great goal. To outpace the younger starters, your efforts must be highly focused and persistent. 1. Develop persistence through the 4 steps. If you find yourself weak in persistence, this may be remedied by building a stronger fire under your desires. Ensure your efforts are based on the 4 elements essential for the habit of persistence: a definite purpose backed by burning desire, a definite plan expressed in continuous action, a mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences, a friendly alliance with a mastermind group. The ease with which lack of persistence may be conquered will depend entirely upon the intensity of one's desire. Persistence is simply the practical expression of your desire's intensity, proving to your subconscious that you are serious and making the world respond to your definiteness, forcing the gates of circumstance. 2. Acquire strategic knowledge. Focus only on the specialized knowledge required for your definite chief aim. General knowledge is of little use. Continuously pursue the specialized knowledge needed for your definite chief aim with the intensity of an immediate deadline. Treat your education as a critical business operation, not a casual hobby, ensuring every hour spent learning contributes directly to your goal and provides immediate leverage over your less focused competition. 3. Apply the QQS formula as habit. Market your services effectively and permanently by adopting and following the QQS formula as a habit. Deliver the maximum quality, quantity, and the proper spirit of cooperation. This consistent over-delivery accelerates your value. By constantly exceeding expectation, you establish yourself as indispensable and activate the law of increasing returns, making your service magnetic to opportunities and financial reward. 4. Profiting by failure. You must adopt the creed that a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. The knowledge that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage will hearten you when the going is difficult, allowing you to leverage losses into immediate gain. This mental discipline turns every reverse into a lesson that shortens your path to success rather than a monument to defeat. But the late starter must multiply his capacity instantly. How do we achieve that scale without years of effort? Through the ultimate power source, the coordinated mind of the mastermind. The 5th step, organizing power for rapid advancement, mastermind, and 6th sense. If you started late, you must multiply your capacity instantly. Power is organized and intelligently directed knowledge. The mastermind is the ultimate leverage. The lesson Hill did not write just for 20-year-olds, as it provides instant access to the education and capacity you need. The tragedy of the man who tries to succeed alone is that he attempts to carry the burden of the entire world on his back. No individual has sufficient experience, education, native ability, and knowledge to ensure the accumulation of a great fortune without the cooperation of other people. The mastermind principle is the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of perfect harmony between 2 or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. This alliance is what grants you the power that youth and singular effort cannot provide. The synergistic effect of these harmonized minds creates a 3rd, invisible mind of superior capacity, a force multiplier for your definite aim, capable of solving problems that exceed any single individual's ability and generating superior ideas. Look at Andrew Carnegie. He accumulated a huge fortune by making practical use of the mastermind principle, surrounding himself with men who supplied the specialized knowledge he lacked. He was the coordinator of genius. By utilizing the combined brain power, experience, and knowledge of other minds, he achieved organized effort and power that was impossible for any single competitor working alone. Carnegie mastered the principle of using other people's specialized knowledge as if it were his own, proving that ownership of the knowledge is secondary to the ability to organize it and direct it towards a definite end. Your age means you can attract and select wiser minds because you offer maturity, stability, and the ability to lead by understanding, not by fear. This is the ultimate tool for compressed time. This maturity allows you to lead without ego, focusing solely on the definite purpose of the group and offering stability and judgment in return for specialized capacity and imagination, creating a harmonious and powerful working environment. Your accelerated success hinges on multiplying your mental capacity through others. 1. Form the harmonious alliance. Ally yourself with the group of people needed to execute your plan. You must maintain perfect harmony between yourself and every member. If you fail, you may expect to meet with failure. Harmony is the essential ingredient. Discord destroys the creative power of the alliance instantly. Demand harmony as the price of admission and remove any member who introduces conflict or doubt. 2. Leverage specialized knowledge. Utilize the experience, education, native ability, and imagination of other minds, your mastermind group, to ensure the accumulation of a great fortune, bridging your personal knowledge gap instantly. Select members whose specialized knowledge directly compensates for your own deficiencies, ensuring all critical bases are covered immediately. 3. Harness the sixth sense. Practice concentrating on your definite chief aim until you are receptive to ideas, plans, and thoughts that flash into the mind, hunches, or inspirations. The mastermind in action often stimulates this creative imagination. The group's combined mental energy is often the spark that ignites this genius faculty, giving you insights that years of ordinary research could not yield, accelerating intuition and superior judgment. 4. Practice invisible counsel. Regularly hold invisible counsel meetings with historical figures or mentors to stimulate your creative imagination. This practice makes your mind receptive to knowledge and ideas that can leapfrog years of conventional learning. Mentally consulting the great minds of the past provides instant wisdom and guidance, acting as an additional mastermind layer without the complication of physical meetings. The mastermind provides this organized effort, allowing the late starter to immediately command vast resources of intellect and power. But there is one final, immediate enemy that can sabotage all of this effort. It is the insidious pull of the environment you are trying to escape and the fears it has implanted within your subconscious. The accelerated start is built on desire and speed, but it is constantly threatened by its immediate enemy, fear. The reason men feel behind is always related to the three enemies of success that paralyze the will: fear of poverty, fear of criticism, and susceptibility to negative influences. You may have found Think and Grow Rich, but if you still allow these fears to dominate your immediate environment, the clock will stop once more, returning you to the state of drifting. The accumulated years of delay are often nothing more than the sum total of unmanaged fears and uncorrected toxic environments. If you are catching up, you must deal with these immediately and ruthlessly. The man who is afraid of poverty can never accumulate money, for his dominating thought is lack, and the subconscious mind translates all dominating thoughts into physical reality. The man who is afraid of criticism, the man who cannot bear to be mocked by his family or friends, will never move quickly enough to succeed. For all great movement attracts criticism. The fastest way to accelerate is to eliminate the drag on your momentum. You cannot run a race with anchors attached to your feet. The removal of these fears is the immediate acceleration, granting you freedom of movement and decisiveness in your actions and judgments. Your environment is either a launch pad or an anchor. Your mastermind will serve as your launch pad, but you must actively sever the cables of the anchor. The anchor is the negative influence of those around you, the family members who tell you to be realistic, the friends who mock your ambition, or the toxic co-workers who fear your growth. I have studied the lives of the great failures, and their stories are invariably punctuated by the moment they listened to the man who was afraid. You must develop a profound contempt for mediocrity and those who defend it, recognizing that their fear is contagious. To compress time, you must not only think differently, you must live differently, starting with an immediate assessment and correction of your environment. 1. Diagnose and purge the 6 basic fears. Sit down and honestly assess which of the 6 basic fears, poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, physical cessation, is dominating your daily thought process. Once the enemy is named, it loses its power. Fear of poverty is often the root of procrastination. Address it by declaring your definite chief aim and acting upon it immediately. Action is the only known antidote to fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the command to act in its presence, knowing that definite action disintegrates all fear and proves its phantom nature. 2. Identify and isolate negative influences. Immediately identify the men and women in your life who, through their words, their habits, or their beliefs, represent a negative influence on your definite chief aim. This requires a mental inventory. List the 5 people you speak to most frequently. Which 3 fill you with fear or doubt? Limit interaction with them to absolute necessity for the next 30 days. This is not rudeness, it is self-preservation. But I tell you plainly, your spiritual obligation to your own success is greater than your social obligation to those who destroy it. If you cannot completely remove yourself from their presence, you must reduce contact and build an emotional wall against their thoughts. The price of success is often temporary isolation from the mediocre. This isolation is the deliberate creation of a positive mental and physical environment, essential for accelerated growth. 3. Utilize the power of the mastermind for environment control. Use your mastermind alliance as your primary environment. Spend more time with those who are actively achieving and moving toward their goals. This creates a psychological and spiritual environment of success consciousness which automatically repels the doubt of the outside world. You become what you consume in your environment. Your physical location may be fixed for now, but your mental environment must be commanded, filled only with thoughts and voices that support your definite aim. 4. Practice aggressive faith against criticism. When criticism comes, and it will be sharpest from those closest to you, welcome it as a sign of your progress. The only people who are not criticized are those who are doing nothing. Understand that criticism is often the language of the fearful, who are attempting to pull you back to their level of mediocrity. Your only response must be a renewed focus on your definite chief aim, backed by an aggressive faith that you will succeed. Do not defend your plans. Execute them. Execution is the most potent argument against criticism and the only language the critics truly understand, silencing doubt through demonstrated results. 5. The mental and physical audit. Conduct a daily audit of your thought habits and your immediate physical environment. Are you consuming negative news? Are your surroundings cluttered and disorganized? A cluttered desk is often the symbol of a cluttered mind. You must apply organization to your thoughts and your surroundings, for organization is the prerequisite for speed. A clear physical space reinforces a definite mental command, removing visual and mental distractions and promoting focused thought. The external order reflects the internal mental discipline required to accelerate and maintain rhythm. The acceleration mechanism is only effective when the brakes are removed. Fear is the brake. The toxic environment is the drag. Remove them both now. How much longer will you allow the opinions of the afraid to control the pace of your life? Now, let us turn these commands into an unbreakable rhythm. Let us now bring every law, every truth, and every warning to its final conclusion. For you to compress 10 years of growth into 2, you must achieve not only organized thought, but organized action that is backed by the ultimate law of the universe, cosmic habit force. The years you feel you lost were the result of unconscious, lazy habits that worked against your success. Now, every single action you take must be a conscious command that works for your success until that action is taken over by the cosmic habit force. This force is the unwavering law of the universe that dictates that repetition of thought or action ultimately makes the result inevitable. It is the power that turns water into steam, and steam into the piston that drives a train. It is silent, it is invisible, and it is irresistible. The master of achievement is the man who channels this force by making his work a habit. The failure is the man who is controlled by the habit of indecision, the habit of laziness, or the habit of doubt. The law is impartial. It rewards the man who forms the habits of success. The cosmic force will work against you if you form habits of failure, just as relentlessly as it works for you when you command success habits, making your success mathematically inevitable. To accelerate your results, you must not rely on motivation or wishful thinking. You must rely on rhythm. You must channel the energy of your late start, the urgency, the regret, the fierce desire into a daily, non-negotiable rhythm of success-producing habits. This is how you outpace the man who started earlier but is still drifting without definite rhythm. The disciplined application of rhythm overcomes the advantages of an earlier start by generating unstoppable momentum and forcing the law of increasing returns to work in your favor. The final command is to take all the previous principles and forge them into a daily, unbreakable rhythm that makes your success an inevitability. 1. Implement the daily command structure. Your day must begin and end with command, not reaction. Morning command: rise before the world speaks. Speak your definite chief aim aloud. Read your plan for the day. Repeat your wealth affirmations with emotion. The first 30 minutes of your day must be dedicated solely to programming your subconscious. Do not check the world's demands until your own command is issued. Midday alignment. Review your progress against your plan. Speak aloud. I am still on target. My aim is fixed. My pace is strong. Correct any drift immediately with focused action. Do not allow a full day to pass without a precise course correction that brings you back into alignment with your definite purpose. Evening review. Measure what was completed. Journal new lessons or insights that came from your master mind or sixth sense. Repeat your aim aloud before sleep and visualize success as already yours. This primes the subconscious for work while you rest. 2. Make repetition sacred. Repeat this daily structure without fail, without excuse. Do not skip. Do not drift. Do not delay. Every thought repeated becomes a command. Every action repeated becomes a pattern. Every pattern reinforced becomes identity, and every identity manifests results that match it. The man who is accelerating does not skip his ritual because he knows that he is not only building his fortune, he is building the habit of fortune. The unbroken chain of repetition is the key to mastering the cosmic habit force, making your actions automatic and efficient. 3. Demand immediate accountability. The reason you feel behind is that you allowed years of unaccountability to pass. Now, you must demand immediate accountability from yourself and your mastermind group. Use a habit calendar or a progress tracker. The man who feels behind must now measure his movement with the certainty of a bookkeeper. If you cannot measure it, you cannot multiply it. This measurement must be honest and daily, revealing precisely where your rhythm failed or succeeded, allowing for immediate corrective action. Unflinching honesty in the daily audit is the highest form of self-control and the engine of accelerated learning, showing you where to apply more power and eliminate waste. 4. The final identity shift refusal. To serve until you transform who you are. No change in your habits, no change in your income, no change in your environment will last. This world does not obey the man who performs. It obeys the man who commands. And no man can command until he first refuses to serve fear, routine, wage, and mental chains. You are not here to merely work. You were born to build. Are you still serving the chains of your past, or have you become the master of your own rhythm? This final shift is the transformation from a follower of circumstance to a master of destiny, where your new identity compels the results, making success an inevitable reflection of your fully evolved character. Your goal is not just to acquire money. It is to acquire the habit of self-mastery that makes the acquisition of money inevitable. The time you lost is irrelevant to the power of the cosmic habit force when it is directed by your now formed burning desire and definite plan. I have given you the formula for the accelerated start. Desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, persistence, decision, and the organized power of the master mind. Every step is designed to compress years of drifting into moments of command. The world will tell you it is too late. The world will tell you to settle. But I, having organized the principles of success from the men who built this nation from nothing, tell you with the conviction of universal law, you are not too late. The wealth you desire is not waiting for your perfection. It is waiting for your decision and your organized movement. Your true life, the life of command, of purpose, and of freedom, does not begin with your first paycheck. It begins with your first definite command to your own mind. Do not let your life be a monument to what could have been. Refuse to be a slave to any man, or any fear, or any past mistake. Your maturity is your moment of power. You have paid the tuition. Now demand the reward that comes from definite, organized action and unyielding persistence. To begin the process of command, I urge you to subscribe to this channel now, share and join the alliance of men and women who have made the definite decision to compress time and claim their reward. This channel is not built on hope, it is built on the law. And for yourself, I have a simple command. In the comments below, write down your current age and your definite chief aim. This is a small act of decision, a public commitment to your subconscious mind that the waiting is over and the commanding has begun. Do it now. The waiting is over. The doubt is finished. The decision is made. Start now.